the Queen City 4+ months ago. A match dominated by the Hounds early, with the orange and blue clawing back for a draw. Tonight, they meet again. A battle of two of the top three in the East. Balmy Saturday night for the beautiful game on the banks of the Ohio River. Cincinnati, Ohio, the site tonight as Nippert Stadium sees FC Cincinnati and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds meet for the third time this season, the second time in USL play. Let's take a look at the up-to-the-moment. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh met here in the Queen City 4+ months ago. A match dominated by the Hounds early, with the orange and blue. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh met here in the Queen City 4+ months ago. A match dominated by the Hounds early, with the orange and blue clawing back for a draw. Tonight, they meet again. A battle of two of the top three in the East. balmy Saturday night for the beautiful game on the banks of the Ohio River. Cincinnati, Ohio, the site tonight as Nippert Stadium sees FC Cincinnati and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds meet for the third time this season, the second time in USL play. Let's take a look at the up-to-the-moment standings in the Eastern Conference in the orange and blue, atop with 57 points. Pittsburgh currently sits in third with 46. Good evening and welcome inside of the broadcast booth here at Nippert Stadium. Tom Glitter, thrilled to be alongside my broadcast partner and All-American Kevin McCloskey as we get you set for this playoff-like match here tonight in the Queen City. And when we look at these two teams, it's interesting, Kevin. FC Cincinnati scores in bunches. Pittsburgh doesn't give up many goals. Difference in styles for sure. Very, very contrasting. You know, Pittsburgh are going to sit in a low block, which is going to make it very difficult for FC Cincinnati really to try to break them down. So it's going to be an interesting battle tonight. The orange and blue have a couple of great goal scorers. Nazmi Al-Badawi, third on the team in goals scored. Of course, Manu Ledesma having a fantastic year. He had the brace last time out, 13 goals on the season. And then Danny Koenig back into the starting lineup for Alan Koch. He'll be leading the offensive attack for FC Cincinnati. You see Kenardo Forbes trying to counter for the visitors. I just talked about that low block, and Danny Koenig, especially in transitional moments, Tommy, is going to be very key to that, trying to get in behind the back line of Pittsburgh. Kenardo Forbes, one of the link players really for Pittsburgh. He's the glue of the team, so everything's going to go through him. And FC Cincinnati have got to try to shut him down. Well, Pittsburgh has never beaten FC Cincinnati. The orange and blue have struggled against Hounds head coach Bob Lilly. A crucial Eastern Conference battle is next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
Fans joining the captains at midfield for tonight's coin toss are University of Cincinnati women's soccer coach Neil Stafford and UC men's soccer coach Hilton Days. FC Cincinnati is proud to welcome both programs to tonight's match. Be sure to watch representatives from the men's and women's soccer teams participate in a busy shootout at halftime. Let's give a nice round of applause to UC head coaches Neil Stafford and Hilton Days.
Back at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati 9-2-3 on the season. The orange and blue and the Hounds have taken the pitch for their second meeting this year in the Queen City. Tom Glitter back with Kevin McCloskey, and it's time to take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places for Alan Koch. 4-2-3-1 formation. Spencer Ritchie will start for the ninth time this season in goal. The back line, Pa Konate makes the start for the second time this season at left back. Blake Smith is out. Justin Hoyt over at right back, no surprise there. And Danny Koenig, who we talked about, up top for the orange and blue. A 5-4-1 for Bob Lilly, the experienced head coach of Pittsburgh. Kay Banjo starts up top with Nico Brett on the bench, not in the starting 11. It's only the second time this year, the
6th time this year he has not been in the starting lineup. The third member of our broadcast team is Lindsey Patterson for the latest on the orange and blue. Let's go down to the pitch for the first time tonight.
Yeah, guys, FC Cincinnati unbeaten in the last 15, looking to extend it to 16 and secure that playoff spot. I asked Alan Koch what he's learned from his club since that streak began back in May, and he said, well, some matches we played great, others not so much, but character from within has really shown in the last 3 months. But the only thing that matters tonight, 3 points.
All right, thank you, Lindsey. Injury report is brought to you by Levy Law, where they turn your crash into cash for FC Cincinnati. Richie Ryan remains out with his lower leg injury. Matt Boehner recovering from his ankle injury. Tyler Gibson, good news, his quad injury not keeping him out tonight. He is in the 18 for the orange and blue. Tonight's match official is Joseph Dickerson. Second time FC Cincinnati has seen him here during the 2018 campaign, and it's brought to you by Kingsgate Transportation. FC Cincinnati will be in their primary orange and blue striped kits, huddling up and awaiting the go signal from the match official. This team undefeated in 15 straight, 11-0-4 across that stretch. It started on June 2nd with that 2-1 win against New York Red Bulls 2. They've been in first place ever since. And Kevin, you can feel some of the excitement here at Nipper tonight.
That's been amazing, really. You know, the 3 summer months being unbeaten with that streak, it says something about the squad. And really, Lindsey talked about the character that's shown up time and time again. Another big game against Pittsburgh, but Tommy, it's business as usual for FC Cincinnati tonight.
So the first touch is taken and we are underway. This is the 8th meeting between these clubs. FC Cincinnati leads 4-0-3, 3-0-3 in USL play. It was a series that was dominated in 2016 and 17 by the orange and blue. Bob Lilly has come in and taken over this Hounds franchise and done a fantastic job in 2018.
He's really transformed the entire team and the organization, really. A coach, obviously, that was very successful with the Rhinos, but, you know, he's brought a lot of players in. I think there's a lot to be said about guys that you trust as well, Tommy. A lot of familiar faces that he definitely holds a lot of stead with.
Ball comes out into the midfield, onto the foot of Adewale. Nazmi Al-Badawi was there along with Mando Ledesma putting on pressure. Pittsburgh will keep the possession over to the far touchline, and it skips out on the far touch off the foot of Kennardo Forbes, who you talked about off the top. And the orange and blue will throw it in with Pakanote from the far touchline.
I think if you look back to the 2 seasons previous to this one too, Pittsburgh really weren't taken seriously, especially as title contenders. You know, so credit to Bob Lilly and his staff. What they've done here has been fantastic. A team that certainly has a lot of different threats. A team that has a particular identity, a very defensive-minded style. But something that they execute very well.
They're being taken seriously this year. They have only given up 14 goals all season long. We'll talk about their rotation at goalkeeper. Your keys tonight for FC Cincinnati.
I think just in that, when we talk about how good defensively Pittsburgh are, trying to break them down, being patient with that. You know, the second thing, Bob Lilly likes to do this a lot. He's going to change tactically. And I think FC Cincinnati have to adapt. They have to be able to see that. Alan's talk through the week about the chess match. That has to show up tonight, and the players have to execute.
Francois slips, loses his touch, then regained control and got it off to Forbes. It'll be sent into the midfield. Pittsburgh controlling the possession here in the early moments. Sent across in the direction of Banjo, who's starting up top with Nico Brett, the Jamaican. 13 goals, 4 assists this year for Brett. Again, he's on the bench in the 18, but not starting. Wondering if maybe he picked up a knock Wednesday night at Indy. That was a 2-2 draw. Jack McInerney scored twice in that match, 90 minutes apart. He scored in the 4th minute, and he scored in the 94th minute to draw the match even and steal a point from Pittsburgh, who looked like they were on their way to a 2-1 victory. Ball sent down the far touchline. Lasso will head it into the middle. I touched on the back line with Pa starting at left back. Blake Smith is out suspended. Potty Bard is also out on yellow card accumulation, so a bit thin on the back line for Alan Cox tonight. His only true sub on the back line is Sem DeVitt, the center back.
I think, though, if you still look at the starting lineup and the experience in that back four right there, very impressive.
Hoyt trying to catch up with the ball down the near touchline, throwing for Pittsburgh inside of their defensive third.
And out of that back four, you got 3 international players that have played at a high level. Forrest Lasso, I think, has been fantastic all year.
Ledesma battling, kept it in play. Pittsburgh won it back. Lasso on the header. Talking about the international players on the back line. Some exciting news this week. Pa Kanote, as well as Mike LaHood, are in line to make national team appearances next weekend. They have been called up by their respective nations. Ganea for Pa, as he will be making a switch from Sweden, who he's already appeared for on a national team level. And then Sierra Leone for Mike LaHood, so neither of those two will be available as they head to Africa next weekend for the match at Louisville City. Here's Fatai Alashe up the middle, off the foot of Koenig. Al-Badawi kept it alive and slid it over to the right Hoyt. Now to Ledesma. With his left foot, he'll switch it over to Kanote. Pa far touchline, just across midfield. Alashe, Al-Badawi nearly got it on the back heel of Koenig, who tried to draw it on to his front foot and could not. Alashe unable to control it. Mohamed Dabo wins it back for Pittsburgh. Off the banjo, Walker gave the pressure from behind and picked it back up. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by U.S. Bank. Manu Ledesma goes down on the near touchline. Bob Lilly was calling for a yellow card for embellishment. Let's take a look and see how severe the contact was. There was contact, absolutely.
No, 100%. There's contact in his back. Tries to shield it. Ends up going against him, I think, for the handball then.
Bancayeziels was the one who made the contact. The Frenchman who scored here in April when these two teams played to a 2-2 draw. Osme with good interplay with Ledesma. Then he just misfires, sending it forward in the direction of Koenig. Right thought, a little bit too much touch. If you remember that match back on April 21st, that was the game when FC Cincinnati had very little possession in the first half. They were in a 4-2-3-1. Alan Koch went into the dressing room, tore everything up, switched to a 4-4-2. And the Orange and Blues scored twice in the second half to get the draw with Pittsburgh. It's not the last meeting between these clubs, because they did meet in the Open Cup back on May 23rd at Highmark Stadium. FC Cincinnati won that match in convincing fashion, 3-1. That one goal for Pittsburgh came very late. That was a lineup that Bob Lilly started a pretty strong 11 that night. Alan Koch had rotated a few guys at that point.
I think even tonight, Tommy, you'll see the same thing. Really, you know, Pittsburgh kind of set up defensively in a 5-4-1, but as they attack, it almost goes into like a 3-4-3. And the spaces, the half spaces between, you know, the corner of the D and the corner of the box, those are the areas that Pittsburgh players come into. And one of the reasons why Alan that last game kind of switched into a 4-4-2 diamond centrally to try to neutralize those spaces.
Francois coming across the middle. Walker knocked it off his foot. Pittsburgh regains control. Forbes trying to work his way around Bone.
The type of space here, just with where they have possession now, it's very hard in that 4-2-3-1. You've got two screen players that really have to shift across and try to apply pressure.
Greenspan will play it forward and skips past everybody and onto the hands of Spencer Ritchie. If you're grabbing your television remote and maybe trying to adjust the coloring on your TV as you watch Spencer Ritchie and Corbin Bone, well, the annual bleaching of the hair took place this week, and Spencer Ritchie and Corbin Bone will call it, fell victim to that. 4 teammates total for FC Cincinnati went with the blonde look. Kenny Walker another, although his not quite as drastic as Spencer and Corbin.
A ruby red shade, I'd say.
Blake Smith, who is suspended tonight following his red card at Tampa Bay last Saturday, also went with the blonde look. However, he shaved his head, basically gave himself a buzz cut, and then did the bleach, so not quite as drastic.
Who was the instigator, you think?
Corbin Bone and his wife Annie is my guess. Throw in from Pakanote was quick, went past Corbin and out on the end line. So a goal kick coming up for Mike Kirk, the third goalkeeper this year for the Hounds. He's making his 4th start of the year, has 2 clean sheets in his previous 3 starts. Kirk has played just under 300 minutes, his 0.94 goals against average. Dan Lind, who has started 19 times, is out with a head injury. Kyle Morton, who has 3 starts and 3 clean sheets, is out with a lower body injury. And therefore, Kirk had to be brought on, assigned during the season to pick up the slack as far as the goalkeeping is concerned. Spencer Ritchie has to come racing to the edge of the 18 and send it out across midfield.
Well, Banjo almost got onto the end of that. Just anticipating that run through. Spencer did well to come off his line. See that partner in tonight again of Fatai Lashe and Kenny Walker. And both players being very comfortable. See this replay again. Kenny does well to kind of hold him off.
Francois got his hand on the shoulder of Kenny Walker to commit the foul.
Yeah, good body position, but just like you said, a bit of a tug.
Forrest Lasso onto the right side. Ledesma trying to keep it in, cannot. And a throw in for Pittsburgh. I mentioned as we went to our first break of the pregame coverage, FC Cincinnati has struggled against Bob Lilly. That Open Cup match was the only time they've ever beaten a Bob Lilly coach team.
It's just interesting, you know, it's very interesting how he coaches during the game. You know, a lot of coaches will come into a game, they'll have a set plan, a strategy, obviously with the formation. Bob Lilly likes to change it on the fly. You know, that even his principles kind of change, which is different, and it's very hard, I think, for an opponent. The key to this, though, Tommy, FC Cincinnati have to be in control. They have to worry and focus on their own formation, their own style of play, and their own strategy, and try to execute. If they can dictate it, regardless of what Bob Lilly tries, it shouldn't matter.
Walker over to Hoyt. Ledesma will give it right back to the Englishman. Out wide for Canote, who has a lot of room. On to Alashe. Bone with a lot of white jerseys gathering around him.
And these are the moments, really, it's going to take a lot of patience. If you can just see Pittsburgh's backline, really it's back into that 5. FC Cincinnati have to get possession, a lot of quick, sharp movement, and then release at the right time.
Home fans are hoping for a orange and blue throw-in on the near touch. Not the case, but their side will win it right back. Nate misses, trying to hook up with Corbin Bone, then gets it right back. Alashe sending it over to the near side in the direction of Ledesma. Banco Yziel did well to get there first. Lasso in the 12th minute across midfield, scoreless here at Nippert Stadium thus far. Lasso on a lazy pass in reverse, has it intercepted, and here's a chance. Pittsburgh into the 18 on the right side. Save is made. Forbes took the shot. Spencer Ritchie got in the way of it, and just enough defensive pressure back to slow the run, but that pass from Lasso set it up.
And that's it. Again, Pittsburgh are very dangerous, Tommy. Just on that counter-attack, finding that space. Forbes is very quick to get into the movement to support it.
We'll bring up the first corner kick of the night, brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Francois will take it from the far side to the left of Ritchie. Joseph Dickerson takes a moment to organize things inside of the 6. Now Francois will strike it. Sends it inside of the 18. Hugh Roberts, the big 6'4" defender, was there. Got his head on it. Yeah. Wasn't able to square to put it up towards the Bailey.
I think I'll be looking for someone just to challenge a little bit tighter on that, the set pieces. FC Cincinnati conceding a goal The last start in on a set piece as well, so it's something I'm sure Allen's got to be stressing in practice.
Orange and blue will push forward into the midfield. Ledesma receives on the right side, now working with Hoyt. Walker. He'll slide it over to the left. Lasso. Pittsburgh had the first good scoring opportunity of the match. Came up empty. And we remain scoreless as we'll roll on to the 15th minute. Kanan over to Kanote. Lost the ball. Then there was a collision. Kanote's slow to get up, grabbing his chest. Alashe trying to win it back. Cannot. Comes to Francois. He'll go to the left. Vankayuzio collects on the near touchline with Ledesma in his face. Manor does well to stop the run. Then he drops it back to Francois. Francois gets around Kenny Walker. Takes a shot. Justin Hoyt heads it down. Kanote getting back defensively now. Good to see he's back up on his feet. And then Pittsburgh mistimes a pass. And it'll be a throw. And as Kanote continues to grab his chest. Another good opportunity early for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and again, just another reflection of how dangerous they are really on the counterattack. Dangerous players, they just don't work it as well. How they commit to the attack. Very quick and fast. FC Cincinnati have to be sharp. Two players come to mind, Fateh Alashe, Kenny Walker. Big defensive responsibilities tonight.
Romeo Parks just outside the 18 will let a shot fly. And it goes wide, catches the pole just outside of the frame that supports the netting. Romeo Parks making his 11th start of the year. Had a great look at it.
This is what I'm talking about. Just trying to apply a little bit of pressure. You've got to respect Pittsburgh and what they have, Tommy. Another strike from distance that wasn't that far away. Looked like Spencer Richard had it covered, but FC Cincinnati get off the hook.
Of course, Romeo Parks, a checkered past with this franchise. Came over from Jamaica to sign with Pittsburgh in 2016. Then in 2017 was banned and released by the team after he kicked Carl Wieman in the back. Able to get back in good favor with the club and re-sign for 2018. Hoyt forward to the foot of Al-Badawi. Quickly, two defenders on him. Misplayed his pass in the direction of Ledesma, who didn't come back for it. Pittsburgh again will work on their build-up. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Frisch's. Sun setting here in the Queen City. Tom Glitter, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson happy to be with you for the third meeting this season of 4 between these franchises. Vankayuzio can't quite catch up with that pass. Rolls out near touch. Justin Hoyt will throw it in.
You've got to say, FC Cincinnati's attack's really been kind of fronty. We talk about patience and how hard Pittsburgh really make it for any opposing team to try to break them down. Try to get into a rhythm if they can. Just a little tight too, right? This is kind of playing into how Pittsburgh want to defend. You're seeing those 4 players in your picture coming across and just adding that pressure. FC Cincinnati got to recognize that. We try to switch the point of attack. A lot of space open on that far side if they can find players.
Seeing the attack-minded nature of Kanote over on that left side.
And he typifies really what a modern fullback is, Tommy. Almost plays as a winger more than a fullback, but I think for tonight his biggest task is make sure that he defends first.
Ball comes back onto the foot of Dekel Kanan. Now forward just over the head of Al-Badawi. A hair too tall for Niles to try to bring it down. If Danny Koenig is there, he gets that ball and might get a shot off.
I agree 100%. I think it's a different player. A little bit of extra pace just to get onto that. Great vision though with the initial pass.
That's Mike Kirk on a big boot. Alan warned these guys that he'll easily get it out across midfield. We saw it there on that punt. Ended up all the way to reaching Spencer Richey. Kanon over to Lasso. Alashe and now to Pa. Canote leaves it for Bone. We're talking about the back line. How Sem David at center back is the only true sub there. And we spent some time talking to Alan Koch about it because with Matt Boehner out and Blake Smith suspended, he doesn't have another fullback available, a true fullback, should one of his fullbacks have to come out tonight.
I think if he's faced with that decision, you know, he's got options of Michael Lahoud.
We saw Lahoud, who was in the match when Blake Smith was set off, and before Pa came in, he drifted over and played that position for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then Pa came in and ended up setting up that late penalty kick.
I think honestly, if he was in a pinch too, you know, Fatai Alashe, Kenny Walker could probably do a job too. I mean, it's very easy for central midfield players, I think, to go back into that fullback position. Not that it's an easy position to play, but it seems to be an easier transition. Central players have great awareness. Anytime that they go into that position, the task isn't too great for them.
Alashe looking it forward, comes to Danny Koenig inside of the 18. Adewale was on his back. Bone on the far touch. Unable to win it. Pittsburgh will have a chance across midfield with Francois. Francois working forward. He has Banjo. Tried to switch it over to his other foot. Was able to deflect it off of Kenny Walker. And for the second time tonight, a corner kick coming for the visitors.
And a very well-timed tackle again by Kenny Walker. A little bit of contact, and he had to get it right. He did get it right. We'll see it again here in this replay. Just times it to perfection. It was a little bit of a risk, though. Anytime that you're tackling from behind, there's that risk that the referee might view it a different way.
Corner kick is brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Again, it'll be Francois, the Haitian, putting it into play. His service, hooking towards the far post. And Van Cayuzio came over the back of Deco Kanon. He'll be called for the foul.
I like that challenge. You know, I just talked about the previous set piece in the corner where it was a free header. This time, Deco Kanon's very, very tight. Doesn't allow the Pittsburgh player to get up and kind of over and make a good enough contact, really, to trouble Spencer Ritchie. Much better defensively by FC Cincinnati on set pieces.
Lasso to Kanon. Forward to Walker. Back to Kanon. Back-to-back big matches for FC Cincinnati. Home tonight against third-place Pittsburgh, then on the road next Saturday against rival Louisville City, who currently sits in second. This ball in the direction of Koenig, trying to track it down on the end line. Joe Greenspan was there to keep him away from the ball.
That type of situation, trying to find Danny Koenig, just has to happen a little bit further up the field. Well, there was limited space really for him to run back in behind that Pittsburgh line. But it's the right thought. There's definitely space behind. If you look at Pittsburgh too, even in their 5, they're being caught very, very flat, Tommy.
Koenig had a conversation with the match official after maybe putting a little bit of an arm in the back of Joe Greenspan, trying to catch up with that ball. Mike Kirk, the 24-year-old goalkeeper who had 5 saves Wednesday night against Indy 11 at Lucas Oil Stadium, sends it out into the midfield. A couple of collisions. Al-Badawi is now down. Koenig is onside, chasing it to the end line. Koenig trying to send it across the middle, puts it behind the goal. Al-Badawi is still down. Manu Ledesma is pleading his case as to why there was no discipline handed out after the collision. Of course, Nazmi earlier this year had a tooth broken when there was no discipline given out.
I think what Ledesma's actually claiming too, when he went off for the header, he got undercut. Then the second thing that happened, you'll see it just here. This had just happened where you see Ledesma on the ground, and then Nazmi looks like he gets an elbow or maybe even just a forearm into the face again.
I think it was the forearm from Adewale.
Hoping his nicers are nice. I know he had a nice job at the dentist, and
Dr. Beck took great care of him.
We're looking fantastic and pretty and white, but
it's a holiday weekend. Dr. Beck doesn't want to be called in tomorrow.
No, I think Ledesma has a legitimate claim. That was really 2 challenges in a row that kind of went unnoticed.
Just crossed the midway point of the first half as we are scoreless. Banjo. Lasso's there defensively. Van Cayuzio streaking up the near touchline, sends it across. Spencer Ritchie will catch it right at the edge of the 6. Great run there by the Frenchman to notice that Manu Ledesma was losing his footing, make the run, and get past him. As the ball flies out near touchline, let's go down to the pitch, check in with Lindsay, who says it's a little bit damp downstairs.
Yeah, about 2 hours ago, we had that thunderstorm roll into Nippert Stadium, and I can tell you right now, the field is a little more slick than normal. Ledesma has fallen over a couple times tonight.
I noticed that. We went down for the team presentation 90 minutes before the start of the match, so when he got down there, the field definitely felt a bit wetter than usual. Ledesma off his chest. Banky Izil's there to keep it alive. On the left side, Dabo. This pass deflected away, throw in for Pittsburgh.
You just noticed the skip of the ball too, Tommy. Just, you know, the pace of it as it's zipping on the floor. A little bit of a challenge. I don't think the humidity helps either.
Only thing that storm helped was Teddy Kerr and his staff from having to run around and water the pitch before the match. Good news is all that weather has cleared out. It's turned into a pretty night here at Nippert Stadium. Hoyt forward to Nazmi. Al-Badawi will bring it back to Kanan. This is again where the orange and blue need to show some patience. Al-Badawi with Kunit. They can't quite hook up with him again. Trying to find him down there along the end line. And Danny couldn't get there, and maybe that's where you make another pass, keep it in the midfield, and try to set up your buildup.
I actually think that decision is the best time. When I talked about earlier, you know, the release pass needs to be kind of more in a central position, which Kenny Walker was in his middle third, to give Danny Koenig the space to run into. And it just happened previously, you know, that Ledesma claim or that call. Danny Koenig is starting to get his timing right. Now it's just the pace of the pass to get him behind, and even the angle, Tommy, as well. Maybe to lead him more towards goal instead of out wide to that channel.
Canote will send it back to his goalkeeper. FC Cincinnati currently sits atop the East right now with 57 points. June, July, August, all in the books. Kings of Summer have been in orange and blue.
A fantastic summer. What an impressive record, really.
18 of the last 19 weeks atop the Eastern Conference in the USL for Alan Koch's lads. Here comes the ball to Ledesma. He receives it inside of the 18. Nearly put it in an emergency clearance by Joe Greenspan as Ledesma was inches away from his 14th of the season.
Kenny Walker's on it. You talk about vision. I just said it. Pittsburgh are flat. They're starting to see it, starting to pick it apart. This ball perfectly played in. Ledesma just doesn't get enough contact to put it into the back of the net. But great vision and awareness by Kenny Walker. The biggest thing now, Pittsburgh will start to drop. The back five will start to drop, which will open up space in front. Corbin Bone, Nazmi Al-Badawi need to find these pockets.
There we go. Nazmi from 35 yards away. Shot deflected. Ledesma fighting for it. He's not going to be happy. He fires a shot into the general admission seating. There was a little bit of contact, but certainly no more than when he was taken down moments ago.
A little bit of contact for sure. I think now FC Cincinnati in these last 2 or 3 minutes, they started to test and probe Pittsburgh a little bit more. Just a quick little deflection. Ledesma comes in.
Caught the back.
We're going to be positive tonight, Tommy.
Absolutely. I was very positive on last Saturday. For the record, I said they could have been a penalty late. My broadcast partner might have disagreed, and that's fine. Kanan to Ledesma on the near touchline. We remain scoreless despite a pair of opportunities for the orange and blue. Koenig will make a run. Kirk was beat on the ball from Ledesma, and it was Greenspan who cleared it off the line on the first of the 2 opportunities.
I think now the key for, especially for Fatai Alashe and Kenny Walker, the 2 center mids, they've got to realize now when to go in behind, when to play in short. Nazmi Al-Badawi has to find pockets of space. Corbin Bone, same thing. and even Ledesma, they've got to start getting in these half spaces and make it unpredictable. I think if they can do that, Pittsburgh are going to be second guessing all the time. Eventually gaps will open up.
Pittsburgh and Cincinnati have rivalries across a few different sports, including this one. And it feels that way tonight. Alashe up the left side, taking off his foot. Pittsburgh will work in transition the other way. Banjo's open across the middle, as is Parks. It'll be dropped back to Forbes. Now sent in the direction of Van Cagizio, comes off to the foot of Kay Banjo. No whistle. Then Spencer Ritchie with a huge save. The defensive play is made by the Seattle native. And Pittsburgh furious that they're not going to the spot.
I think it's 100% the penalty. I think FC Cincinnati, fantastic save by Spencer Ritchie. Let's not take that away from him. But on this contact right here, that's a penalty.
Yeah. Kenny Walker gets away with one, maybe two.
I think the second tackle was clean.
Okay.
I think the save was fantastic by Spencer Ritchie. I think it was a penalty kick, though.
Bob Lilly in the ear of the linesman on the near side right now as a corner kick coming for Pittsburgh. Service across, Lasso finds it with his noggin. Sends it out to the midfield. Al-Badawi's going to try to chase it down. Bob Lilly continuing to argue, and I agree, partner, he has a case. However, it remains 0-0. Give Spencer Ritchie some credit amidst all of that to make the huge save.
It's just, such a funny game and a strange game, too. I think probably for the 5 minutes before that incident, FC Cincinnati had started to figure out Pittsburgh, started to probe them a little bit, and all of a sudden, against the run of play, Pittsburgh had this clear chance that really, I agree with Bob Lilly, he has every right to argue this point. FC Cincinnati get off the hook, though, and again, this is part of the game.
Walker's going to be called for a foul this time. Clearly came over the back of Romeo Parks. Parks will send it over to the far touch, just past the half-hour mark. Forbes. Francois. Lasso heads it away right at the top of the 18. Bone will give it over to the captain, Dekel Kanon. Hoyt drops it back for Kanon. Over to Lasso and now Bone. Bone back to Kanon.
This player on the ball here, Tom, I think he's going to be key in tonight's game. Be interested to see if Allen changes and flips the triangle, maybe puts Alashe in a higher position, but right now, every time that he drives at Pittsburgh are shaking in their boots. It creates that space. He commits players, opens up options for different players wide, Pakanote, Corbin Bone. And I think he's got a natural anchor with him in Kenny Walker.
Kanote trying to make his run towards the 18, turned away defensively by Pittsburgh. Remember, Alashe had his first goal in orange and blue a week and a half ago in that thrashing of Atlanta United 2 down in Georgia. Walker looking it to Hoyt. Justin does really well to keep it alive. Hoyt down the right side. His cross is deflected off the foot of Adewale, and a corner kick coming here for FC Cincinnati, and a smile from Justin Hoyt.
Bit of a smile as he changes gears again down that line. So really give FC Cincinnati a great chance at Ledesma. We've seen it from this corner, especially how he whips it in wickedly just into that back post. So hard for a goalkeeper or a defensive setup really to deal with it.
Opportunity here for the orange and blue to strike first. Ledesma 13 goals, 10 assists, and has to be the leading candidate for USL MVP.
I think he's certainly a furlong ahead, I'd say.
Yeah. Or two.
Not that I know anything about horses.
Desmo awaiting the ready signal. He gets it. And And will set to strike it with his left foot. Here we go, the service. He was trying to swing it into the goal. We've seen him do it a few times. Try to sneak it inside of the near post. Kirk was there, and he ended up hitting the near side of the post. No danger there for Pittsburgh. Kirk with his left foot will slide it short to Adewale, then get it back and send it into the midfield. Tesma battling with Francois. The Haitian wins that battle. Now over to Thomas Venkayuzil. Walker won it back. Here comes Francois. Francois into the middle. Banjo. Banjo spinning inside of the 18. A kick save by Spencer Ritchie.
Another big time save. I know the first save really was the difference again in that corner kick. But Tommy, talk about reflexes on this. How agile he is to get down to his right hand side. Sticks out with his right foot. Fantastic save.
Forbes back alive inside of the 18 again. Tried to cross it. Came off the chest of Hoyt. Justin Hoyt standing tall and confident after that defensive play. They better get ready. Another corner kick coming for Pittsburgh.
From that play, it was just a misunderstanding too. Kenny Walker did really well to win, got the interception, and on it, Justin Hoyt was thinking he was going to go forward, so he stepped. Ended up being an interception. Another chance for Pittsburgh to play in this corner kick.
Francois again, now from the near side. Sent it short. Back heeled by Adewale. FC Cincinnati trying to clear it for his lasso. Was taken down by Banjo. Foul will be called and a free kick for the orange and blue.
Tries a little bit of a backhand. Comes off at Justin Hoyt. Lasso again. Big presence, just gets up.
It was actually Greenspan who had his arms wrapped around Kanon.
What do you think Blondie's done so far?
Fantastic. Spencer, take back everything I said earlier. Maybe you should play with blonde hair more often.
There you go.
3 huge saves so far here in the first half as this match remains scoreless with 9 minutes plus stoppage time remaining.
Well, I think your confidence has got to be high. Anytime that you're going to bleach your hair.
Recently engaged, so not sure if there was any consent there. But he already locked up his girl, so.
Tommy, I tell you, I think if you just did a little bit of.
No.
A couple of streaks.
The answer's no, partner.
Could open up a different word for you, Mom.
I'm starting to get some other color in my hair naturally.
Just a bit of frosting.
Yeah, exactly. I have natural frosting, so we're good. Lasso back to Ritchie. Spencer, 26 years old, making his 9th start on the year. He has 3 clean sheets coming in. FC Cincinnati 7-1-0 on the year when Spencer starts in goal. Darn good when Evans starts as well, 10-2-6.
I'll tell you what, just the goalkeeping situation this year has been so incredible. Really, you know, you've got 2 guys with such professional attitudes as well, coming up with big performances.
Dabo. Back to Hugh Roberts. Over to the far side, Jordan Dover. Forward to Francois. Sliding tackle from Forrest Lasso, and he's headed into the book. I don't know, I thought that was a pretty clean tackle.
That was a crunching tackle, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I thought he won the ball, but I tell you what, there was a good amount of physical impact that went through that. Francois just slow to get back up on his feet.
Yeah.
I tell you what. Yeah.
That's the yellow card.
You can't jump like that with 2 feet.
That's 6'5" Forrest Lasso taking out 5'7" Cristiano Francois.
It's a hard challenge, Tommy. It's a challenge that definitely deserves a booking, I think.
I agree. 7th yellow card on the year. I think Bob Lilly is arguing that it should have warranted a different color booking. Here's the free kick into the box. Headed away to the near touch. And Adewale was there trying to redirect it. Could not. Gilsey will come over to throw it in inside of the final third. Yellow card on Lasso, the first booking of the night, handed out by Joseph Dickerson. Romeo Parks holding it towards the corner with Kenny Walker in his face. Yuzil working around the Desmo. Walker pokes it away. Yeah. And Koenig is pulled down from behind.
I think there's actually a little bit of contact too. Van Gisel, I think, just grabs Kenny Walker on the way by. You can just see it here, just that tug in the screen. Really a double foul and a little bit of contact into the back of Danny Koenig also.
You know, it's interesting, a week ago, there were 3 teams left in the USL who had not had a red card. 2 of them are playing tonight, FC Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Of course, Blake Smith got 2 yellow cards, the second one wildly questionable. Either way, it resulted in a red card, and therefore, FC Cincinnati no longer part of that list. And then Wednesday night, a red card, a straight red for defender Ray Lee. He had come onto the match for about 10 minutes, then was sent off with a straight red in the second half against the Indy 11. And now Pittsburgh is off that list, which means Penn FC is the only remaining team in the USL not to have a player sent off in 2018.
This is a good decision by FC Cincinnati, just to show a little bit of patience, maybe trying to create 1 or 2 more good attacks before the half. We saw a little bit of a spill in the half. I'm sure Allen's not going to be happy with the total performance, but you've got to remember too, the opponent sometimes dictates the flow of the game. I think Pittsburgh have done a good job of doing that. This is much, much better though.
Canote drops it back for Lasso. Just across midfield. 41st minute. 0-0. Here in the second league meeting this year between these two clubs. Second time here at Nippert Stadium they have met in league play. Hoyt knocks it down to the captain. Alashe just misses Lasso by a hair. He'll go over to the touchline to recollect.
You see Pittsburgh stepping a little bit high here.
Koenig over to Hoyt. A lot of patience here from the orange and blue. Up the middle in the direction of Ledesma. Deflected away, but right back to Walker. Switch it over to Pa on the left side. Renate to Lasso. There's Alashe and Walker. Bone. Up the middle to Koenig. Off to Alashe. Over to Al-Badawi. Trying to get it back to Fatai, and it's intercepted defensively.
Just think he overplays that. Great move up until that point. Like Al-Badawi really should have probably shot. Went on his own and being a little bit selfish with it.
Canote trying to chase the ball down at the end line. And he's going to be called for a foul.
Oh, that's unlucky. Just shows some great pace to get him behind it. It looked like a fair challenge, shoulder to shoulder. Just a little bit of a push in the back, yeah.
Just enough
the angle on him
to knock down Hugh Roberts. Great ball forward for Pa to try to get to. Mike Kirk will set to put it back in play. I was saying earlier the consistency that Pittsburgh's had at their goalkeeping position as well. Different circumstances with the changes in Kyle Morton and Dan Lynn being injured, but Kirk has stepped in and basically picked up where those two left off. Throwing for Pittsburgh, 43rd minute. Back to Greenspan. Adewale. Left foots it forward. The direction of Parks missed him by a few yards, and it easily rolls onto the hands of Spencer Ritchie. Hoyt will send it back to Kanon. On to Alashe. Lasso sends it in the direction of Ledesma. Vancayuzio got there first. Walker on the Manu. Bone gives it right back. Then Corbin Bone just misses on it. Here comes Canote. Over to Corbin Bone. Corbin Bone, left-footed shot, deflected up and over the goal. Corner kick coming.
I've really liked what I've seen from Pat Canote since he signed here. Shows great poise again. Takes out Corbin Bone. Little pass. Decent enough strike, but last chance. We saw this just the last set piece, the last corner kick. Ledesma hitting off the front post. I'd expect to see him whip and bend in it again, trying to hit inside of that 6-yard box area.
Kenny Walker coming over in case Ledesma wants to play it short. It will also draw 2 defenders away from the 6-yard box. His cross is headed away. Pittsburgh trying to work in transition. Walker did really well to knock it away from Francois. Ledesma now coming back as Vancayuzio is streaking up the left side. Francois controls for the Hounds. Back down to Wallet. Bob Lilly, head coach for Pittsburgh, of course, was Rochester's head coach in 2015 when the Rhinos were USL champions. Of course, with Rochester taking the year off, became available, and Pittsburgh scooped him up. He has been a fantastic hire for the Hounds. We are on to stoppage time, just 1 minute of stoppage time here in the first half. Banjo tried to get to the top of the 18. Hoyt knocked it away, then Kanon cleared it. Ledesma forward for Bone. FC Cincinnati trying to get going in transition. Corbin has some room. Sends it into the middle for Nosby. Bone then fell down, tall, but Aoi didn't have any help.
Nosby did really well just to turn and find that support of Valache.
Now everyone else can drop forward. Nosby will get it back. Leaves it for Bone.
One last chance maybe in this half.
Walker will give it over to the near touch and Hoyt. Hoyt on the cross in the direction of Valache. Comes out to Canote. Does he have time? Canote sends it inside of the 18. Looking far post for Koenig. Goes over his head. The first half whistle will sound here at Nippert Stadium. The score 0-0. Chances for both clubs throughout the first half. 45 minutes of soccer in the books. 45 more still to come. Lindsey Patterson is with head coach Alan Koch.
Coach, we were seeing a few opportunities and saves for your club in the first half, but you know this Pittsburgh team, they're dangerous. You could see multiple formation changes all throughout the night. What's your message at the half?
Well, it's a top of the table clash. You can see there's 2 good teams playing against each other. Obviously, whoever manages the individual moments the best in the second 45 minutes is going to set themselves up for success. I'd like to see a little bit more creativity. We possessed the ball relatively well, but the only way we're going to go out and win this game is get in the final third and obviously capitalize on those chances.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. The orange and blue head into the dressing room. Tied with Pittsburgh. Will we see Fernando Adi in the second half? He's available. Opportunities for both teams. None have found the back of the net. 0-0 at the half. We'll be back with a chat with the OGs. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
And now for tonight's Christian Moorline Lunch Trivia Contest, brought to you by the Christian Moorline Brewing Company. Please direct your attention to the video board and play along by submitting your answer to @FC Cincinnati on Twitter using hashtag #IBleedOrange. The winner will receive a $100 gift card from the Moorline Locker House, Cincinnati's world-class brew hub, and Moorline FC Cincinnati Blood Orange IPA t-shirts. Make sure you check back on the video board at the end of halftime for tonight's Christian Moorline Do You Bleed Blood Orange trivia answer. And now for tonight's Buffalo Wings and Rings High School Penalty Kick competition between Centerville and New Richmond High School girls soccer teams. Got New Richmond up first, and their first shot is good. A 1-0 lead after the first kick. Here comes Centerville trying to tie it up. shot that's on the way. That one's going in the corner. We're 1-1 after one round. Richmond steps back up.
Back at Pittsburgh Stadium, where we are at the half between FC Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Round number 2. Shot is on the way, and that one's good. Citadel with a 2-1 lead after 2. For a third round kick. And that one's good. We're tied up at 2-2. Citadel with a chance to take a lead. Shot is on the way. And that one's no good. So we're tied up at 2 each after 3 rounds. First and fourth round shot on the way from New Richmond. Here it comes. And that shot is good.
Back at Pittsburgh Stadium, where we are at the half between FC Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. 3 players remain on the orange and blue roster from 2016. That's Corbin Bone, Jimmy McLaughlin, and Kenny Walker. A few weeks ago, we gave you part 1 of our conversation with those 3. Tonight, part 2 with the OGs.
Just when you think this club can't grow anymore and like we couldn't top the first season, then you look at how the second season went and it just continued to grow and grow. And then you have, for me, the pinnacle was that Chicago Fire game. It was just, I don't know, kind of the storybook ending, David versus Goliath, and then Mitch makes a couple incredible saves, and next thing you know, we're running to the corner flag and storming the field with all the fans. And I think I've played the best soccer I've ever played here. I mean, I think both of you guys have as well. I mean, you guys both scored 2 of the greatest goals that I've seen in soccer ever. I mean, your goal at IMG the first season, and then obviously your goal this year. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that's something that you guys should be telling your grandkids about. I mean, those are world-class goals.
From day one, I felt like a professional soccer player. For sure. Which is awesome. Like, when you feel that way, it's a great feeling, and it's not everywhere, but being a part of this club who works so hard, like the front office, Jeff, Carl, everyone involved I think to make this an environment that you feel like you're a professional player, and it's a place that deserves to be at that level for sure.
The journey all the way to MLS it's been a wild ride, like you just said, but I think from day one, I think the club has made it something special to put on our jersey.
Absolutely.
And I think it's kind of deserving for them to have an MLS badge on it next season, the highest level they can get in America, and I think even before it has an MLS badge on it, putting on that jersey is something special to the USL and then everybody that's involved. But the city has our back, and we love the city, and it's been an awesome experience.
FC Cincinnati has grown into something that kids want to be a part of when they grow up. It's a dream now, and it's an inspiration for the younger generation. I mean, that's kind of what I think it's all about. I mean, I remember looking up to guys in the Union, obviously my hometown, and all over Europe and everything, and you dream about being in their shoes, and I think it's our duty as players, and especially here in Cincinnati, to kind of give those kids that same dream and that opportunity. So it's pretty cool to be a part of it. And I mean, even before we came up here, I mean, we were sitting down outside the locker room just looking at the stadium, and I mean, as amazing as the new stadium will be, it will be a little sad, I think, kind of when we change venues. There's been so many amazing moments here, and so much growth as a club, and so many first times, but it will be a bit different, and it may be a little bittersweet at first, but then it starts a new chapter for FC Cincinnati, and again, just when you think this club can't one-up itself, it finds a way. I think we've been talking long enough, huh?
McLaughlin, Bone, and Walker certainly have left their mark on this franchise. As we roll through our halftime coverage, here's a look at the latest highlights around the USL.
Outer will send the cross in, and what a goal by USL's leading goal scorer, Thomas and Evelson.
Lancaster, and it's 1-0 to Louisville City.
Rio, Drawn to matches. Langsdorff has found the back of the net and leveled the tally in the 79th minute. His 14th goal of the season.
Vega. Tevin Vega. Shooting. Goal! Mendiola!
Big launch with the right.
Oh, Steinberger, second opportunity. Welcome to North Carolina FC. Zach Steinberger has tied it at 1. Yes, Dabo. Big bingo. Mohamed Dabo.
Cross goal! And the goal by Bustamante. And Fresno may indeed sneak out of here with a point.
Hoffman outside the 18. Shot! Goal! 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 Looking forward to Hoffman. Goal! The brace!
Justin Davis. That's a great goal.
Kim steps up, straight to the turnover.
Nanko, save made by Pickens, follow save, and a devastating goal by the Bethlehem Steel.
It's in. New York have tied it up. It's 4-4.
Oh, Rita saves it!
An impressive save.
Saved off the line, Lubin!
But it's swatted away by Cohen.
Derek producing a fantastic diving save, and it's Tyler Derrick again, who's had an incredible performance.
Saved by Restrepo! Not once, but twice!
Shot pushed away by Lopez.
Oh, and what a save by Marcin Kowski.
He gives it a stride. Off Cardoni. Arturo with the big shot and a great save by Newton.
And a save by Matt Pickens.
Great save as Eric Dick got a hand on it.
Fantastic save there from Laurel.
Certainly have been some great saves in the USL as of late. There have been great saves tonight here at Nippert Stadium as the ball has yet to find the back of the net. 0-0 the score with 45 in the books and 45 still to come. The scoreboard across the USL. Indy 11 in Richmond over at Lucas Oil. 1-1 in the 67th minute. Tampa Bay on the road bouncing back up 3-0 in the 67th minute at halftime. Charlotte at home winning 1-0. The standings, we took a look off the top. Where are we now? Well, about the same. FC Cincinnati, right where they've been all summer. First place, 57 points at 17-3-6. Rival Louisville City, 10 points behind. We'll see them next Saturday in Pittsburgh. 46 points through 25 games coming into tonight. The upcoming schedule for the Orange and Blue. I mentioned that game at Louisville City, 7:30. Kevin and I will have the call of that for you. Then Toronto FC2 back here at 4:30. I heard tickets for that one are going fast, so lock in your Sunday afternoon plans. Then at Penn FC at Richmond and Indy 11, the final regular season home game. Certainly won't be the final home game of 2018 for FC Cincinnati. We'll step aside and take a break. When we return at Nippert Stadium, we'll show you the highlights from the first half. That's next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer.
June Day of Healthy Active Girls. Today, 10-year-old June loves riding her bike, and 7-year-old May loves playing basketball. Both sisters also love hanging out with their friends. Help Cincinnati children have more kids like June and May, and donate at CincinnatiChildren's.org/donate. Cincinnati Children, changing the outcome together. Please vote for tonight's Man of the Match. The poll will be posted on Twitter, and the Man of the Match will be announced following the conclusion of tonight's game. And please welcome DJ Vision providing tonight's music.
Tom Glenn and Ken McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium, where the fans of the half staying hydrated, grabbing a quick hot dog and getting set for the second half. Kevin, we saw opportunities for both these clubs. We expected a competitive battle tonight. It has been just that.
Yeah, a tough game. You know, we expected Pittsburgh especially to set up the way they have, you know, very organized defensively, which has been tough for FC Cincinnati to try to break down. I think on the counter-attack too, I think Pittsburgh have really looked threatening. So I think Alan's going to have a talk and specific tasks for some players in the second half, and hopefully we see some goals as a result.
Well, we've seen scoring opportunities for both of these clubs, and tonight's first half highlights are delivered by PapaJohns.com. You'll save 50% on pizza if FC Cincinnati scores twice tonight. Ledesma nearly found his 14th here.
Oh, Kenny Walker definitely has seen that Pittsburgh line stay pretty high. Good ball over. Ledesma not that far away, but I think the more and more the game goes on, I think Kenny Walker is definitely going to find a lot more seams and opportunities. This, I think, Tommy, is a penalty.
Walker took down Banjo inside of the 18. It was not called one. Then Spencer Ritchie made a huge save, and he has answered the bell when called upon tonight.
Again, this is a big-time reflex save just to get down. A little bit unorthodox with his right foot, but doing whatever it takes to keep the ball out of the net. And he's been fantastic in the first half.
Here's a look at the number 7 shots for Pittsburgh, 2 of which have been on target, 3 shots for FC Cincinnati. The possession heavily in favor of the orange and blue. The fouls have been even, and we saw that one yellow card handed out to Forrest Lasso. The third member of our broadcast team is Lindsay Patterson. She was able to go into the dressing room and listen in at the half. For more, let's go downstairs.
Yeah, guys, to start that message off at halftime, it was actually vet Kenny Walker giving a confidence chat to the club. Alan Koch was finishing watching some of the film, and when he got back, he said really just minor adjustments for this club in the second half. Just move the ball quickly. Nazmi drift in, continue to stretch the field. Defensively, we need to narrow the lines. The final thing, most important thing, we need to react better in the second half.
Perfect. Thank you, Lindsay. FC Cincinnati comes out of the dressing room and just about set for the second half. Alan Koch just made his way out as well. How would you like, Kevin, to see them more creative over the final 45 minutes?
I think just what Lindsay said. I think, you know, there are certain things that need to just improve. A few details, you know, I think the big thing, you know, there's space in behind this Pittsburgh backline, for sure. I think, you know, anytime they're defending 5 flat, there's definitely space. I think the biggest thing, though, they can't be predictable every time and just try to find that. I think Nazmi, I think Corbin, I think Ledesma have got to be a little bit more dynamic in providing different options for Ty, for Kenny Walker. And I think if they can do that and continue to be patient in possession, chances will come.
Be interesting to keep an eye on a couple of guys as we go through the second half. Remember, Corbin Bone didn't play last Saturday. He was out after taking a knock against Atlanta on that Wednesday night game. Was actually sent home from the trip to do rehab here in Cincinnati. Danny Koenig had picked up a knock. He did not start against Atlanta, then came in the match against Tampa Bay off the bench when Fernando Adi came out, so he's still maybe working his way back a little bit. How Allen manages minutes will be interesting in the second half to me.
Be very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how the second half goes also with that management, Tommy. You know, if obviously they're up a goal or 2 goals, that's going to obviously be a little bit different. If it's tied at 0-0, even down a goal, hopefully that doesn't happen. But, you know, that plays a big part in how you execute that plan.
Joseph Dickerson checking in with the goalkeepers. He'll signal everybody ready for play, and FC Cincinnati will have the first touch of the second half. They switch ends, and the orange and blue will work right to left towards the Bailey, looking to go ahead and secure 3 points against a rival tonight. Walker dropping it back for Kanon. Deckel sends it long in the direction of Ledesma. Deflected away by Pittsburgh over to Canote. Back to Lasso. Forrest Lasso making his 22nd start of the year. This match will push him over 2,000 minutes on the season. Of course, nobody has played more than Corbin Bone. Al-Badawi battling, and the foul was called. I'm talking about Corbin Bone. Has appeared in 40 of the last 42 USL games for this franchise. Now 41 of 43. That was coming in. So 41 of the last 43. He has been FC Cincinnati's Iron Man over these 3 years.
I'd actually love to sit down with Austin Berry and look at the fitness stats. just on him. That data they collected,
I am sure that Coach Barry would be more than happy to spend some time with you to go
I would
through
love
that.
him to explain it first, though.
Yes. You need a lesson, and then you can analyze it.
Then we can analyze the data, yeah, sure.
Here's Walker challenging Francois, who keeps it on his foot. Francois has been very good in this match.
Oh, he's been very creative.
Walker slides in there. Disrupts the run for the moment for Pittsburgh. Regained control by Forbes. Over to Vanka Yazil. The Frenchman puts it across the middle, and Romeo Parks misses. He swiped at it and had a good look. Didn't make any contact. Bone dropping it over the head of Ledesma, and it bounces right at the corner of the 18, where Kirk did well to come off his line and collect that ball. Forbes onto the right side. Dover into the middle. Alashe intercepts. And Ledesma was trying to give it back to Bone, deflected away. Hugh Roberts stuck his boot forward and got a piece of it. Here's Banjo. Banjo right at the edge of the 18, trying to get around Lasso. Lasso makes contact, and here's a penalty kick coming for Pittsburgh. Forrest Lasso makes the tackle inside of the box. And Spencer Ritchie is going to be called upon for FC Cincinnati, with Kate Banjo appearing to step to the spot. We'll have a look at it.
I think Banjo does a great job of kind of going inside and outside, back inside here. Forrest he can't swing his leg at that, knowing that he's beaten. There's not really much argument.
I agree. It's a penalty. FC Cincinnati will argue to no avail. Kate Banjo, 25-year-old forward, 6 feet tall, making just his second start of the year. He has not scored in 2018.
It's interesting. I always find it interesting. Anytime the player that's fouled gets up and takes the penalty, he took a pretty big whack from Forrest Lasso on that as well. He might be the designated penalty taker for tonight for Pittsburgh, though.
Remember, Nico Brett is out. Otherwise, this would certainly be his spot. Banjo draws the penalty and has a chance to put Pittsburgh up here in the second half. He takes it and puts it high. Kay Banjo got underneath it and sailed it into the horseshoe end of the stadium.
And just on that point where I talk about, anytime that you're going to ground and you're hit that hard by a big guy like Forrest Lasso, it takes a little bit of time to just gather your composure. And this is where he's lacking here, Tommy. Just not being able to hit it on frame. Doesn't look comfortable. Tries the stutter step.
Tried the Manuel Ledesma stutter step.
And just leans back. Not good enough technique. FC Cincinnati again get off the hook.
The only place he could have been trying to go was center of the frame high, right? I mean, who knows? Either way, it doesn't work out, and it's 0-0. Second time this season we've seen an opponent for FC Cincinnati sky a penalty kick. The last one started this undefeated streak back in June, I'm sorry, June 2nd against New York Red Bulls 2.
This is a massive wake-up call for FC Cincinnati.
Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by Sharefax. Banjo, a bit of a shove with Kenny Walker right at the midfield stripe. Walker will wait to set it back into play. Well, Banjo was hoping for his first goal there. He doesn't get it. There's no official word from Pittsburgh as to why Nico Brett did not play. It's the second game this week for Pittsburgh, but they didn't play last Saturday, so it's not like it's the third in 8 days.
I think if you look at as well the minutes he's played this season.
No, he leads the team. Not quite in minutes, I'm sorry, but he leads the team in appearances with 24. Pakanote inside of the 18 draws some contact. The Bailey wanted to see a penalty at the other end. They won't get it. Pittsburgh will work in transition. Dekel Kanon turns it forward.
Well, this game certainly opened it up.
Yes.
I think FC Cincinnati have to be careful. A point that Alan brought up that Lindsay recapped on is keeping the lines tight. Anytime that there's game end to end, it's the team that can recover quickly in transition and get set defensively, they're going to be in control of it.
Walker into the middle to Koenig. Danny knocks it out wide. Great job to pass it to himself inside of the 18, then across the middle. He was pulled down as he took the shot. It ends up in the hands of Kirk. And FC Cincinnati pleading their case again for a penalty. Here's the play before the contact.
Well, it's a lovely little quick turn in. Just that put back there on his right wrist is what he's claiming. Does it do enough to make him fall? I'm not sure about that, but great turn of pace. It's a little bit of a pull.
Yeah. Just slight.
Might affect his balance a little bit.
Alashe fighting to win it back in the midfield. Al-Badawi trying to thread the needle and find Ledesma. Bone is there to clean it up. Sneaking in from behind. Then Ledesma's taken down to the corner of the 18, grabbing his ankle. Canote will play it off the defender, Hugh Roberts. Throwing for the orange and blue. Ledesma's back up. Canote has nowhere to work it towards the end line, so he'll go in reverse to Walker. Kenny will switch sides. Over to Justin Hoyt. He finds Alashe.
I was going to say Alashe just in that higher position. I talked about it in the first half. Just him driving at Pittsburgh really provides a different option in attack.
Bone drops back a bit. Over to Kanon. He'll work with his fellow center back, Forrest Lasso.
Biggest issue too, just FC Cincinnati are playing very, very high. Got to be quick to react in transition too.
Danny Koenig had the right idea there, trying to flick it on. Al-Badawi chasing the ball down inside of the 18. Ledesma closing in as well, and Kirk just comes in and scoops it onto his chest. A dangerous ball.
Well, Kirk again has been very steady, right? He's done everything that's been asked of him. I'm sure he'll be very happy with his performance so far. Very brave as well, just to come in there.
Greenspan wasn't able to collect the ball as he had hoped as it bounced inside of the 18. Kirk realized he had to come off his line and make the play. Walker unable to get it over to the left side. Now it comes to Ledesma, but his first touch isn't clean.
It's 2 touches in a row. Really, it's not been that as clean as you would expect from him. And you talked about, you know, him being a little bit banged up maybe from last week's game. It's one of those things to manage a player like Ledesma. Might not be 100% fit tonight.
Yeah, Manu Ledesma took a tough knock and had to receive extensive treatment Saturday night in Tampa Bay after the match. There was some question whether or not he would be available for this game, but he worked his way back into training. He was cleared by Aaron Powell. So that's another one. I was talking about Corbin Bone. And I was talking about Danny Koenig working his way back to match fitness, but Ledesma's another one that Alan Koch knew he may have to keep an eye on as this match wore on.
I think we're not seeing Ledesma at 100% today. It doesn't seem like it.
Ledesma over 2,000 minutes now this season. Tonight making his 24th start of the campaign. He has come off the bench once. 55th minute, we are scoreless at Nippert Stadium. Francois with Corbin Bone there. Across the middle, headed in the direction of Dover.
Dover just mistimed that too. He had a great option, a great amount of space for him to play in it.
Forbes on the crossing ball, trying to get into the middle, deflected away by FC Cincinnati. We'll have our first corner kick of the second half. Brought to you by the Levy Law Offices. Tom Glader, Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson, our stage manager, Eric Van Zant, producer David Ashbrook. Happy to be back with you, back at home after 2 on the road. Felt a little weird. FC Cincinnati, after that long home stretch, had to go on the road for 2, but we're back here at Nippert. Francois with Al-Badawi in his face. Nazmi gets his spikes on it and goes out on the end line. Another corner kick coming here for Pittsburgh. Francois manages the corners from both sides. He'll take this one in the 57th minute. Here's the service, looking far post, headed away by Kanon. Kept alive, and Dover, 30 yards away, over to Francois. Francois will serve it in again. Lasso this time heads it off. Crashing in was Dabo, tried to take a swipe at it, didn't get it clean. Pittsburgh, however, into the 18. Across the middle, and Romeo Parks puts Pittsburgh on top 1-0, finding it from 12 yards away.
You can feel that it was coming, Tommy, sooner or later.
First time in 1,160 minutes FC Cincinnati has trailed.
Again, Pittsburgh do a great job of just playing and sending players forward into the box. Easy enough opportunity, really, for Parks. He's got space, side-footed shot really past Spencer Ritchie too, who's been on form tonight. Not much he could have done about it. Didn't really see it till late. I think FC Cincinnati just have got to tighten up defensively a little bit here. Pittsburgh are starting to really look threatening. You talked about Francois. I think he's been a very big key player in the attack. Just kind of drifting. He's starting to drag players away. Just creating a lot more space for Parks, for Banjo. You know, those players are starting to get more and more time on the ball.
First time the Orange Blue have trailed since June 13th in the second half here at Nippert against Bethlehem. Man who let that ball roll in off his back heel. Kirk will end up scooping it up. Pittsburgh strikes first. Still plenty of time. 32 minutes remaining. Alan Koch with a couple options. Emery Welshman is available. 3 goals, 4 assists. Of course, Fernando Adi, who's joined the club, still trying to find his footing a little bit. He's available. Jimmy McLaughlin will bring a ton of energy if he comes into the match.
Well, it changes that game plan for sure, Tommy. I think you look at it, it could be both, though. It might be more of a defensive decision also. You know, obviously you've got to get a goal back, but you've got to look at just the trend in the last kind of 10 minutes. Pittsburgh have had a lot of attacks. It's something I think Alan's definitely going to want to try to close down and try to fix if he can.
Throw-in will come from the far touchline. Inside of the defensive third for FC Cincinnati. Hoyt to Koenig. One right back by Pittsburgh. They'll keep the pressure on. Trying to end this undefeated streak. It's at 15 for FC Cincinnati. 11-0-4 across the stretch. If Pittsburgh got 3 points on the road tonight, that would be huge as far as the Eastern Conference table is concerned. FC Cincinnati will remain in first, but it would be a big win for the visitors.
A lot of time left. A lot of options left on that bench as well.
For Romeo Parks, it was his 4th goal on the season. Here's Parks knocking it into the middle. Banjo, who missed the penalty kick in the 49th minute. Only had 1 booking. That came in the first half and was handed out to Forrest Lasso. Almost to the 1-hour mark here in the Queen City. After an afternoon storm, it's turned into a lovely evening. As we roll through the Labor Day weekend, you're going to fire up the barbecue this weekend, partner.
100%, man. You know me.
I do. Just tell me what time to be over. Canote working near touchline. Lasso's going to let it roll back to his goalkeeper, Spencer Ritchie, who saved that play there, has been fantastic tonight. Made some huge saves in the first half to keep Pittsburgh off the scoreboard.
Well, I think we're going to be very interested to see just an FC Cincinnati reaction here. See how they respond to this.
Pittsburgh has continued their control of this match following the goal. And Kiyosio catches up on the far touchline. Into the middle, Francois with a high boot near the face of Alashe, able to keep it alive. Forbes over to the far post, and way off sides was Romeo Parks. I think you put the flag up from up here, and then the linesman caught up. Bob Lilly sitting down and catching his breath now with his club on top. FC Cincinnati coming into this match had only trailed 7% of the minutes during this 15-match undefeated stretch. And went 1,160 minutes between trailing here at home against Bethlehem on June 13th and now tonight. See how they handle the adversity. Pakanote can't handle the ball, switching sides, comes off of his thigh. Pittsburgh will waste no time throwing it in. Here comes Francois. Lasso step forward with a strong tackle. Misplayed ball. Ashe got lucky there. Jordan Dover coming in. It's been those balls played slowly back that Pittsburgh has done such a good job of reading and intercepting tonight.
No, I mean, again, their plan has been fantastic. I'm just watching Kanote. I think he's picked up a little bit of a knock. Just on his left. It looks like maybe his hip flexor.
And that may be what he got early. Remember, he went down and was slow to his feet, trying to battle on. And that's something that Alan Koch has to keep an eye on as well. We mentioned it earlier. If you're just joining us, Matt Boehner's not available. He's out with an ankle injury, and Blake Smith not available due to his 2 yellow cards and is suspended tonight. Therefore, Alan Koch is out. Have another natural fullback able to come in. Here's Kanote falling down. And you're absolutely right. He's hurt.
Yeah, he didn't look right.
Jordan Dover into the 18, gives it off Banjo, and it's snuck out on the end line. Spencer Ritchie will have a goal kick. Paz in a lot of pain right now. Now, we did talk to Alan Koch. I mentioned it earlier that if he had to take a fullback out, what that situation would look like. If Pakanote comes out, the most likely, as you mentioned, was Mike LaHood to come on and play fullback. He would probably go on the right side, and Justin Hoyt would switch over to the left.
If they did that, I mean, it might be going through his head right now to change the shape. It's one thing they've got to be able to try to counter just the way Pittsburgh are being set up in that 3-4-3. It's been very, very difficult, I think, for FC Cincinnati. Really, you talk about possession too. In the first half, FC Cincinnati had 67% of the possession.
Kyle Ashe goes down, wanted a foul, won't get it. Ball's going to come over to Justin Hoyt. I just saw Pakanote look at Allen and shake his head no. I think we'll see a sub shortly. Kanote's really just not very active at this point.
I think the big thing that I was just trying to finish with that possession part, but you've got to be able to make and create more opportunities.
Here's Bone over to Ledesma at the corner of the 18. First touch wasn't great, was able to recover. And then he got it off of the defender. Greenspan, and that'll set up a corner kick for FC Cincinnati. Kenny Walker will go over to take it. Michael Hood's being called into the dugout, and FC Cincinnati is going to try to get a sub quickly for Pakanote. Now, this was the concerning scenario for Alan Koch coming in. 64th minute, however, and a chance for an equalizer. Walker from the near side to the left of our broadcast location. Can FC Cincinnati draw it even in one apiece? Into the 18, headed away. Hoyt on the preventative coverage will step forward. He'll send it over to the left. Walker. Walker inside of the 18. Nazmi Obadawi was offside. It looked like he held up long enough to stay on. Pakanote is going to sit down while Michael LaHood gets his jersey kit on and sets to come into the match. Jimmy McLaughlin has come in to the dugout as well, and it looks like Allen's going to make 2 subs here just past the hour mark.
You just mentioned about being concerning. Concerning obviously for Pakanote to come off, and hopefully he's okay. It's not a serious injury. I think Michael LaHood will be fine. I think Michael LaHood is an experienced player. He'll be able to slide in there. I don't think he'll skip a beat. I think Jimmy McLaughlin, now that's what we talk about offensively. Who does he come in for?
Depends, I guess, on what Alan Koch wants to do with the shape and how he feels Manu Ledesma is. You said it feels like Manu's been a bit off tonight. I could see him coming on for Manu.
I think I agree with you. I think that's the player that he's probably going to sub, just to change things a little bit, but also just to protect him too. You know, I don't think he's 100% fit.
Could be Corbin Bone as well, but we'll wait for a card to be turned in. Jimmy put his kit top on and then put his penny back on, so maybe that sub not as immediate as the one for the injury to Pakanote. Aaron Powell went out and attended to Pa. We'll keep an eye on him on the sideline. Fernando Adi called into the dugout as well, so Allen might go for it all here in a span of a few minutes and make his subs. Here comes LaHood.
I'm not sure he's going to make a double sub though, Tommy, at this stage.
I agree.
Still a lot of time left. It's just 1-0.
Now Allen could, if he wanted, go to 3 center backs. Justin Hoyt at times played center back last year, and I think that's kind of what you were alluding to.
That's what I was talking to. If Pakanote coming back or coming out, it doesn't mean that they're going to change it go. And it looks like Michael LaHood's actually just going to go in and a kind of anchor with Alashe.
3-5-2.
Yeah, looks like a 3-5-2. Ledesma just going back in central, just a partner with Danny Koenig. Look at you picking out formations.
3 years later, here we are, brother. Lasso heads it down in the direction of his goalkeeper, Spencer Ritchie. 67th minute at Nippert Stadium. It's 1-0 Pittsburgh. The visitors tallied in the 57th minute with Romeo Parks. We have not seen Nico Brett tonight. He did not start. Came into this match with 13 goals. Corbin Bone racing down the left side, able to keep it alive. Into the final third, feeds it over to Al-Badawi. Nazmi misses his touch, but Ledesma's there to catch up. Nice job by Manu. Walker, back to Lahoud, over to Alashe. Kenny Walker sliding in to steal
tackle.
back.
Yeah.
Hoyt pushes it to the left, Lasso. Bone sends it over to Al-Badawi. Lost his footing, then had to look around to find the ball, and Pittsburgh won it in the midfield. Kanon deflects it away. Walker over to Alashe, who has a little space on the left side, but boy, does Pittsburgh close in quickly.
It's very, very compact.
Koenig headed it over to the left side. Ledesma giving chase. It's cleared right to the foot of Alashe, just outside of the 18. Ripped a shot and missed it as it goes up into the stands.
Yeah, it just doesn't obviously get it on freedom, but I think the interception and the decision to drive forward is good. It's very positive to see. Been impressed with him really since he's come into the club, Tommy. He's been dynamic, smart.
Fourth start on the year for Fatai Alashe. Well, old broadcaster's jinx there. There's Nico Brett. Jersey kid is on.
There's just this interception again. Great first touch to set, and then looked like it maybe bobbled just as he hits it.
And he appeared maybe to be a little bit hobbled after taking the shot. Ledesma can't catch up with the ball to the top of the 18. Kirk is there. Mike Kirk making his third start. 2 clean sheets in his first 3. 5th appearance of the year. She had to come on for Dan Lynn when he got hurt. With Kyle Morton out. Morton out with a lower body injury. Pittsburgh's goalkeeping has been fantastic all year. That's why they're 12-3-10 and in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. However, this result holds and they pick up 3 points. They jump up to 2nd place ahead of Louisville City, who FC Cincinnati sees next Saturday on the road. Louisville has handed the orange and blue 2 of their 3 losses this year. Bone over to Ledesma near touchline. Manu trying to work it forward. It comes off of Pittsburgh. Bone trying to throw it in quickly. They won't let him do it until Nico Brett checks into the match. Talk about a big sub and a spark for Bob Lilly late. Here it comes in the form of number 9, the Jamaican Nico Brett.
Anytime that you're bringing a player on that scored 13 goals on the season, not a bad situation.
He'll replace Cristiano Francois.
Which is interesting too, because I think he's been the most effective player.
I know.
For Pittsburgh, it's to be interesting to see him paired with Nico Brett, but
team high 25th appearance on the year for Nico Brett. Leads the club with 13 goals. Matches in with Manuel Ledesma on the season. Also has 4 assists. FC Cincinnati trying to set up their attack in the 71st minute, trailing by a goal at home. Sent forward in the direction of Ledesma, doesn't connect. Lahoud tracking back. He was the first sub tonight for Alan Koch as Pakanote picked up a knock and had to come off. Long ball in the direction of Koenig. Kirk got there first, and Koenig with the slightest of bumps will be called for a foul.
Yeah, he definitely bumped him. Kirk again came off his line well. It's a good idea again by Alashe just to find him. And Danny Koenig, again, as we always see this, just his work rate has been so impressive. I think he's actually, Danny Koenig's actually pushed into him.
Yeah. Danny was trying to hold up, I think. It doesn't make a difference. Kirk's going to catch the ball right there. Now he just gets to run maybe 10 more seconds off the clock. Justin Hoyt now will be called for a foul. Here comes the second sub for Alan Koch. Jimmy McLaughlin will make his 93rd FC Cincinnati appearance across all competitions, and as usual will be welcomed in with a loud round of applause. There's Alashe. I told you I thought he looked a little bit slow after that shot that went up into the Bailey. Well, Alashe out, McLaughlin in, and FC Cincinnati will rearrange their personnel a bit. Jimmy historically has done very well against teams from Pennsylvania since joining FC Cincinnati. Of course, he is a native of the Keystone State. He scored against Pittsburgh in the U.S. Open Cup win 3-1 back in May. Koenig wanted a foul call in midfield, won't get it. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, will throw it in from the far touchline.
25,735.
Here's a look at Koenig going down. Back into play, and Bone wins it back for the home lads. Jimmy playing out wide on the right side. Hoyt tracking back. Now turns it in the midfield. Off to McLaughlin. Back to Lasso. Tonight's broadcast of FC Cincinnati is brought to you in part by UC Health. Yep. Kanon over to Lasso. FC Cincinnati showing patience in the build-up, trying to find that equalizer.
Just so tough as well, just to find that seam that's going to make the difference. Trying to get in behind Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh are just so compact, they're so organized.
Greenspan breaks it up.
This is what they do best, just break on the counter.
Romeo Parks giving chase to the far touchline. On to the final third for the Hounds. Leading 1-0 in the 74th minute. Parks. He'll take his time now. Drop it back to Van Kayizio. Come back. Danny Koenig giving chase, and the ball has to be played back to Kirk. Kirk will send it to the near touch. Goes over the head of Canardo Forbes. Tonight's attendance 25,735. Tell you more about that here in a moment. Fernando Adi is going to check on and make his 5th appearance. Could tonight be the night he finds his first goal in orange and blue? The USL surpassed 2 million in total attendance last week, maintaining a record pace in the stands for the league's modern era. The league and its teams would like to thank you, the fans, for the rising support you've provided over the course of this season as we head toward 2018 USL Cup playoffs. Adi on, Koenig out. That's the final sub. Now you have Ledesma and Adi up top in this 3-5-2 change for Alan Koch. Hoyt in the direction of the fresh legs of Adi. Off the chest. Manu Ledesma, a shot. Kirk dives to his right. Good reaction to make the save.
Almost instant impact, really just trying to set up Ledesma. He strikes out a first time. Great technique. Kirk holds on to it, but a bit of a glimpse of hopefully something we'll see more often here in these remaining minutes. The partnership of Ledesma and Adi. Something that I'm sure that certainly excites all the FC Cincinnati fans.
15 minutes plus stoppage time left as Lahoud with a poor pass back was picked up. Banjo wasn't able to get it past Ritchie, who came off his line to gobble it up.
Spencer Ritchie just picked up a knock for his troubles on that.
Now he's hobbled. No more subs for Alan Koch available. Lasso forward to the direction of Adi. Corbin Bone brings it down. Al-Badawi to Ledesma. Over to the right, McLaughlin. Jimmy sending it across. Fernando Adi. Header finds the side of the net. Jimmy nearly fed Fernando Adi for the equalizer.
We saw that on his debut where Ledesma almost set him up at the back post to score. This is a little bit of the same again. Jimmy, great ball in. I think Ali's got to do a little bit better on that.
I think he knows that he just missed making it 1-1.
I don't think he realizes how much time he had at the back post.
Great ball from Jimmy McLaughlin to find Fernando Adi. Boos will rain down now.
Just the difference when Adi comes in. Tommy, you can see it already. Those last two opportunities. Certainly going to make those Pittsburgh players commit to him, which should open up a lot more space as well for other players around him.
McLaughlin, now 8 appearances in 8 opportunities against Pittsburgh over the last 3 years. Played just under 600 minutes. He has 2 goals against the Hounds. Nearly picked up an assist. That's Romeo Parks who scored the goal to make it 1-0. Slow to his feet. Bailey would like play to continue. Ben Zemansky, the Akron product. Played for the Zips 2006 to 09, won a national championship, and has extensive MLS experience, 133 appearances. The 30-year-old trying to check in and add some experience for Pittsburgh late. And it will be Romeo Parks coming off.
A defensive change on that.
Yep. If I'm the Hounds right now, I'm content packing it in. Trying to run off these next 12 minutes plus stoppage time, get on that bus and head back to Pittsburgh.
I think a big thing though, FC Cincinnati can't get caught just trying to play long. They've still got to be patient. They're going to have some success finding Jimmy, and even Corbin now has come over to the left-hand side as a wing-back. Just to get into those wide positions, I think channels will open up, seams will open up to find Adi Ledesma.
In the previous 7 meetings between these two clubs, Pittsburgh has never won. FC Cincinnati leads the series 4-0-3. Conversely, FC Cincinnati in USL play has never beaten Bob Lilly, head coach for Pittsburgh. Will something give tonight? We'll find out over the next 12 minutes. Kanan looking to play along in the direction of Adi. Gets it to him off his chest. Al-Badawi and Ledesma crashing in. And a foul is called.
Brilliant again by Adi. Just the difference that he makes. He's running in stride, turns, takes it down on his chest. There's all great bit of skill, but also fantastic strength. This is a dangerous position.
Ledesma and Walker will stand at the spot.
Might just be a little bit too far for a strike on goal, Tom. I think this may be going to be a service, but he's got a great target in Adi to try to find at that back post.
About 33 yards away. Ledesma will send it. There it is! The equalizer from the captain! Declan Kanan makes it 1-1. Ledesma, his 11th assist on the year.
Well, we knew it was going to be dangerous anytime Ledesma's in that range to serve or to shoot. He has the technique, he has the skill to make things happen, and what a header by Declan Kanan, the captain. We'll see it again. Great weighted pass in, bends it in. Declan Kanan, brave as always, gets up, great header done. Kirk can't do anything about it underneath him. Great equalizing goal.
And now the momentum in favor of the orange and blue. Will the subs for Alan Koch pay off, and can they find another? 1-1 in the 81st.
I think there's still a lot of time, Tommy, to get more chances here. 10+ minutes left. You've got a great partnership up top with Ledesma and Adi. Jimmy McLaughlin's been fantastic since coming on.
Jimmy gets in the direction of Al-Badawi. All Nazmi had was white jerseys all around him.
You can just feel the energy in the stadium.
For Kanan, his 2nd goal of the year. He joked with me on his first that it was so easy I could score it. I promise you, I could not have scored that one.
We'd be calling in the squad, I think, Tommy.
Look at Adi. chasing down the ball. Flag was up. Fernando won't agree. Pittsburgh puts it right back into play. Desma's going to chase it to the foot of Kirk. Bone deflects it off his shoulder. Go out on the touchline. Pittsburgh will throw it in. 1-1 the score here in the Queen City. And it's been a battle tonight between these two clubs, sitting in the top 3 of the USL's Eastern Conference. Chance here with Forbes, the attacking third for Pittsburgh. Forbes crossing it, comes off the chest of Kanon. Then Deckel gets it back from Lahoud, and Bone will look to clear it. Corbin battling with Dover. Pittsburgh gets it back. Over to Nico Brett. Brett takes a shot. Ritchie makes the save. Brett takes another, and it goes high.
Again, you can see why Nico Brett is the leading goal scorer right now for Pittsburgh. Great technique, even better see it by Spencer Ritchie. Nico Brett strikes this with venom as it comes down here. What a reaction, see if that is. Ooh, that second chance.
Nico Brett at point-blank range missed the frame. The leading scorer for the Hounds making a difference, but unable to put Pittsburgh back on top. In the meantime, Johan Dame and the 4th official were getting into it. Johan was pulled back into the dugout. Kanon heading into the midfield. Szymanski, who just checked on, got a touch. It comes over to Lasso. He'll knock it forward. Ledesma chasing it. Kirk got there first. Parks in the 57th minute made it 1-0 Pittsburgh. Kanon in the 80th equalized. That's where we stand with 7 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in a playoff-like match here tonight at Nippert Stadium. Lahoud. Out wide for McLaughlin. Jimmy forward for Ledesma. Over to the right. Lahoud has some space. Lahoud looking for Adi on the cross. Doesn't quite get there. Pittsburgh trying to clear their defensive end. Cannot. Ledesma races over to keep it alive.
It's a great switch.
Banda finds Lasso. Lasso was trying to just put it inside of the 18 and completely mishit it with Nazmi over to his left. Goal kick for 24-year-old Mike Kirk. Looked like he might be en route to his 3rd clean sheet of the season. Kanon had other plans. Szymanski and Bone battling in the midfield. Banjo started at striker tonight. Missed that penalty kick, remember. A huge miss in the 49th minute. Al-Badawi's going to try to run the other way. Slides it to the right, Ledesma. He has Adi inside of the 18. Back to Al-Badawi. Nazmi Al-Badawi takes a shot and it's blocked right at the 6. Wow.
Great play. Nazmi, I think, had a little bit more time. Unlucky on that shot, though. See this chance again. Ledesma does great. Just a pick. Nazmi, is that a handball? I'd like to see that one again. Off either the chest or the shoulder. Very close to the arm, though. The Pittsburgh defender.
9 times out of 10, Nazmi Al-Badawi's burying that opportunity. Chances all over the pitch. It remains 1-1. Kirk will send it in the midfield. Lahoud heads it down. Comes off with Szymanski. Throw in for FC Cincinnati. 3rd straight year FC Cincinnati's played at home Labor Day weekend. 2 years ago, it was a late goal by Sean Acoli to beat St. Louis on a penalty kick on Labor Day. Pittsburgh in the midfield. Walker. Lasso. Taps it to Bone. Bone now send it all the way back to Ritchie. Opportunities certainly have been there for the orange and blue. K9 looking to play along in the direction of Adi. Comes off his chest to Manu. Ledesma looking for Al-Badawi, turned away by Pittsburgh. Zemansky picks it up in the midfield. Over to the right, Forbes, back to Zemansky. He'll dance across the midfield. To the left, Dabo. Certainly tense moments here for both clubs.
I'll tell you what, it's been an entertaining game. Especially the second half, really, has been end to end.
Al-Badawi tracking back, got a piece of it, then Lasso cleared it. Mentioned earlier Pittsburgh's record, 12-3 and 10 draws this season. Bob Lilly coach teams are known to be the king of draws. That 2015 season, Fernando Adi got a yellow card for what?
Interesting.
Fernando Adi beside himself. He's going to pull Manu Ledesma away. Well, let's take a look and see if we can figure it out.
Well, I think what Adi said, let's just get on with the game here.
I mean, he's tied up there with Joe Greenspan, but
the referee said he maybe struck him with his hand, with his face, but I agree with you. Totally. I think Greenspan's hanging all over him.
Walker will give it to Adi. Adi is slowed down. Now to the 18. Fernando Adi over to his left foot. Fernando Adi, his first goal in Cincinnati, and the orange and blue lead 2-1. Celebration on FC Cincinnati's bench.
If you remember, Tommy, I talked about what impresses me the most about Adi. There's two things: his timing of his runs and how he uses his body. Executes both things perfectly. Gets away from this. Great, fantastic strike with his left foot. Here's where he just separates again, uses that strength. He's got such a big stride as well. Great finish with the left foot into the bottom corner.
2-1, orange and blue in the 89th minute. Nippert roaring with enthusiasm as Cincinnati takes the lead on Pittsburgh.
Oh, what a time to score that goal. Cincinnati fans have been waiting for Adi to come to light. And what a time to do it, Tommy.
I'll tell you what, the minutes he has played tonight have been his best in this uniform.
Well, listen, we've talked about it. Every time he's played too, you have to be patient. He's not game fit. He's still trying to dust off the rust a little bit, but tonight
he's looked awfully good.
There's zero rust.
I think it's those fresh white boots he has.
Starting to look like that designated player, huh? What a goal.
Now you got to keep it away from Nico Brett. He heads it to the far touch. Jimmy McLaughlin will send it into the midfield. There it comes in the direction of Adi. Adi gets tied up with Zemansky, who's looking for a foul. Waiting for the signal on stoppage time. What a turn in the last 10 minutes. Adi. He's feeling it now.
Having fun, definitely.
Yeah.
I think the big thing here, not to sound like a Debbie Downer, though, FC Cincinnati have to stay switched on.
Absolutely.
Defensively, they have to be compact.
Especially with that guy fresh off the bench. Nico Brett making the run. Hoyt touches it away. 4 minutes of stoppage time with FC Cincinnati on top. 2-1. 2 goals in the last 10 minutes to completely flip the script on their rival.
Got to say, really, since the changes, the big guy, obviously, but I thought Jimmy McLaughlin, I think Michael Lahoud has been excellent. I think he's energized that midfield.
And the decision by Allen to change the formation as opposed to push Lahoud to play fullback.
Absolutely.
Brett backheels it. Bankayuziel across the middle, and it skips just wide. Kay Banjo was there and couldn't redirect it.
Banjo wasn't far away from that. I think Spencer Ritchie knows it as well.
FC Cincinnati undefeated in 15 straight. Now about 3 minutes away from making it 16 and picking up 3 massive points at home. Banjo, unable to continue for the moment, will stretch. Spencer Ritchie will reset the ball and be told to put it back into play. Evan Newton received a yellow card last Saturday for delay of game. Late in the match, taking too long on a goal kick. Spencer sends it away. Dover off the head of Kanon. Now Bone in the direction of Adi. Ledesma trying to shield off and receive the ball. He's knocked down, but it comes to Al-Badawi. Advantage play on.
Good decision. Didn't have to go forward.
Drop back to Bone, back to Nazmi.
Good intelligence just to kill the clock off a little bit too. Certainly good game management by Nazmi.
What an effort late by the orange and blue. Down 1-0 to their rival, now ahead 2-1. Forbes trying to send it to the midfield. Kenny Walker is there. He'll give it to Adi, who for the moment has the go-ahead goal. He's knocked down. Foul will be called. Free kick coming for FC Cincinnati, 30 yards out. We've seen just 2 bookings tonight from Joseph Dickerson, both on FC Cincinnati. The ball is rolled all the way out across midfield. Dennis Chin, who came on for Bob Lilly, was out there trying to get Hoyt to hurry up and bring it up to the spot that's already been marked. The clock rolls on. There's 60 seconds of stoppage time at least remaining.
A very similar position too from Declan Keenan's goal.
Yep.
I'm not sure if they're going to serve it in though. I don't see anyone inside of the box right now.
Lasso and Kanon are not even playing forward. I think Ledesma's going to try to score on this.
Well,
he can put the game away, or he can play it in reverse.
My advice is make sure that it goes out if you're going to do that. Honestly, I think he might play short here if he's smart. Just try to play in this corner.
He was trying to sneak it to Nazmi Al-Badawi, streaking in, and it does go out. So a goal kick for Kirk. Kirk will waste no time bringing it back into play. Lahoud scissors it forward. Right at the edge of stoppage time now. Kirk out across midfield. Hoyt puts it back towards the circle. Forbes off of Walker and Kanon, bounces to the end line. Pittsburgh's going to get one more chance. It'll come on a corner kick. Could be the last play of the match.
Right now we're into 94. This is a very tense moment for FC Cincinnati players and fans.
Nico Brett will serve it up. Everybody back defensively for the orange and blue. Brett on the corner kick. Comes across the 18. Bone chasing. Full time whistle. FC Cincinnati victorious at home. They finally figure out Bob Lilly in league play and pick up their club record 18th win of the season. They are dancing in the Bailey tonight at Nippert Stadium. What a finish. And the game-winning goal from that man, Fernando Adi.
Just see how much it means to everybody involved, Tommy. We talked about character a lot. I think quality showed up tonight too. The difference, you talk about difference makers. Ledesma, Adi, Declan Keenan with that experience as a leader, just to pull back. It was certainly a gutsy performance.
First goal for Fernando Adi means a big smile from number 9. I would imagine Alan Koch will have a big smile as well. I saw him wipe some sweat from his brow. He is now joined by Lindsey Patterson. Let's go down to the pitch. Lindsey?
Coach, you knew it was going to be a battle tonight, but credit to your team stepping up. You changed the formation. You get 2 goals late. Can you talk about the character of your club?
We know we have immense character in our group, of course. We speak about it every single day, and you see it every single day with the group. But I always speak about managing the moments. Spencer Ritchie save, world class. Deckel, obviously, the captain of that club, coming forward and scoring a great goal. And Adi, what a release. Obviously, the pressure that guy goes through. Someone's coming to join us. I'm incredibly happy for him. I'm incredibly happy for the group. But obviously, give credit to Pittsburgh. They're a fantastic team. That was a top of the table game. It could have gone as a playoff game to extra time, penalties. Those are the types of games that are ahead of us, and I'm glad we're successful tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Good job.
All right, thank you, Lindsey. 16 straight undefeated for FC Cincinnati. Tonight's moment of the match is brought to you by Toyota. I think we all know what it was. Fernando Adi.
Well, this is the quality I'm talking about. This is why he's a difference maker. And at the level he played at MLS next season, Tommy, that's not an easy finish. That's a guy of pure talent. You talk about emotion, there's definitely a release in pressure and emotion in that.
When the head coach is the one waiting for you all the way down by the 18, that's a good sign. Alan Koch was the first one there to give a hug to Fernando Adi. Now Lindsey Patterson will get an opportunity to catch up with Fernando. Lindsey?
Have you had a chance to catch your breath right now?
I mean, I don't know, man. It's going well. So.
What was it like getting that goal?
I mean, it was massive. You know, I watched the game very well on the bench. I spoke to the guys in the locker room on what to do, especially the forward. So, you know, I came in and tried to strike the game. And I think when we struck the game, we had a lot of second balls. And, you know, with that, we counter. And, you know, they were really focusing on me. So, you know, I had that one chance. And, you know, I just knew there were 3 guys. So how am I going to be the 3 guys? And, you know, I just found a good space to shoot. And lucky for me, we went through.
One thing I noticed when you're out there, you're really managing the field. What is the mentality of this group?
No, I mean, it's very great mentality. You know, the guys have given everything today. You know, I told them in the halftime that you got to find a way to win, you know, because today wasn't our day. You know, we weren't playing the way we have to play, you know, so coming into the game and, you know, it was a very tough game, you know, very good team. So to find a way to win the game is impressive.
I'll let you go enjoy this win and that goal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Fernando, and thank you, Lindsey. A fantastic job tonight as the orange and blue tally the 2-1 victory at home. Big claps from all involved. Kevin and I will step aside, take a break, and recap it when we return. 2-1 is your final. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Tom Glenner and Kevin McCloskey back with you at Nippert Stadium, where big hugs on the way into the dressing room. Jim McLaughlin, Forrest Lasso, head coach Alan Koch, happy with what they saw. 25,735. There's Fernando Adi, second straight home game. He's taken off his kit and thrown it up to the Bailey, where the party's going to stretch in to the wee hours, I would imagine. Alan Koch certainly relieved for a moment. Pittsburgh was in control of this match, Kevin, at 1-0 and had all the pressure at their end of the field.
Team to be respected. You know, it's one of those things as well. The league table never lies. You talked about the ties as well, which I thought was very, very interesting. I think, you know, they're not that far away. I think, you know, they challenged FC Cincinnati and the talent that FC Cincinnati has in its squad. Pittsburgh are not that far away. Bob Lilly's actually still talking to his team.
I know.
And I guarantee he's talking about the road ahead. I think for FC Cincinnati tonight, and Alan touched on this, every single game is going to be like this in the stretch. It's going to be playoff mentality. It has to be a situation where FC Cincinnati show up. And I think it's good preparation.
Doesn't matter who's on the schedule next. For the moment, it's Louisville City, but every team is going to give FC Cincinnati their best shot. Tonight's post-match highlights are driven by Toyota, and chances abound for Pittsburgh. It ended up being Romeo Parks making it 1-0.
And Parks just has a little bit too much space, I think, for me. Spencer Ritchie, who played fantastic, couldn't do anything about it. What a finish by Declan Keane. And the leader, again, stepping up at the right time to bring the sides level. A quality finish by Ledesma. Just puts it on a platter for him. And then this is the big man's moment right here. Just the way he uses his body, strides it out, great strength and technique to finish in the bottom right-hand corner. And to get the game winner, the fans erupt and love it.
The big man's moment is a perfect way to put it. Fernando Adi, his first goal in orange and blue, and he celebrates with a big hug for his head coach, Alan Koch. When you look at it for the club, 18 wins now. Obviously, the 3 points are massive as the club moves up to 60 points on the season, distances themselves that much further from Louisville City, who they'll see next Saturday, and Pittsburgh, who sits in third. I mean, this club has a chance to run away with the East and set themselves up for a really special postseason.
I think, yeah, definitely, but you can't get carried away with that. I think Alan's always said this. You can't, because you get emotionally charged about a lot of stuff, but Alan has said this, it has to be game by game, right? And I think the biggest thing is we still have not seen the best performance for FC Cincinnati. I think the key in this is peaking at the right time. You know, they can't get too carried away about the streak. I'd forget about the streak. I would look forward. And I think that's what Alan's going to do. I think that's what his staff's going to do. And hopefully the players as well.
You're starting to sound more and more like Alan Koch every day. He's not worried about 16 straight unbeaten. But that's where we're at. 12-0-4 across that stretch, and 2 or more goals scored in 13 of those 16 games. Once again, your final score from Nippert Stadium tonight: FC Cincinnati 2 and Pittsburgh 1. Our next broadcast of USL Soccer WSDR comes your way next Saturday when FC Cincinnati heads down I-71 to take on Louisville City. That match will start at 7:30. For Kevin McCloskey, Lindsey Patterson, our producer David Ashbrook, I'm Tom Glitter, saying goodnight and thanks for tuning in. It has been a fun one tonight here at Nippert Stadium. The orange and blue victorious and atop the East for another week.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.